Genevieve Jacobs from Region Media with you for this week's news update, which comes from Canberra Museum and Gallery, where there is an exhibition that will be very, very dear to the hearts of many long-time Canberrans. Sharon Bulkley is with me, and she's their Social History Programs Coordinator. But I think, Sharon, before we start, we need to be properly dressed for this one.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, it's all about Canberra Milk. And so a beloved theme for many local Canberrans. But Sharon, talk to us about the history of Canberra Milk and what stirred the museum's interest in this as an exhibition idea.
Well, milk is such an everyday thing. You know, you just open your fridge and pull it out and you don't really think about where it comes from or the history behind it. So we really wanted Canberrans to take a moment to appreciate the rich history of dairying here in the capital, and also to realise what a great local brand we have amongst Canberra Milk and how much it's actually done for the community and helped grow the city over the years.
It's actually a really long-running history. Well before Lake Burley Griffin was there, and we think of Dairy Flat Road, there were dairies right along the Molonglo River. So there's a history of dairying that goes right back to the foundations of European settlement here on the Limestone Plains, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. So Duntroon Dairy was the first one here in the Canberra region, so that was 1832. And the old dairy is still there. You can go along and have tours. It's a heritage listed building now. But from that, you know, lots of small farmers having dairies all around the Canberra region, along where Lake Burley Griffin was, initially just servicing their workers and the local community, but over time it grew and became a much bigger industry. Obviously our fertile plains and things were just a perfect place for those sort of regions, areas to grow.
Yeah, and look, we've got dozens of objects around here from the past, and a reminder of the days when there were turf wars, the milkos were challenging one another for domination over the territory. There was a time when there were hundreds of people delivering milk in Canberra, wasn't there?
Yeah, so it's really interesting for people to come in here and see that getting milk wasn't always an easy thing to do. So the cows were obviously milked by hand. The milk was then put into large metal canisters and delivered on horseback. And then over time, the milk industry started to become a little bit more streamlined, but there were over 100 milkos servicing the region, delivering door to door, which people absolutely loved. It was so convenient, it was really local, we got in really nice connections. But there were a few dominant forces at play, and that's what started the ACD Milk Authority coming into effect in 1972.
Now, the other thing that's a really important theme is sport. So lots of us are very familiar with the old Raiders connection, but Canberra Milk have also sponsored the Brumbies and a lot of community sport. So what's the tie-up there between milk in this city and sport?
Well, obviously Canberra Milk were one of the early major sponsors of the Canberra Raiders, and the Canberra Raiders had huge success in their early days and into the 90s, so it's a brand that people recognise with sport and success. Milk's also a really healthy product. It's easy to promote to kids, for strong, healthy bones. It's not a soft drink or an energy drink. But Canberra Milk have really jumped on board, not only with the bigger clubs like the Brumbies and the Raiders, but really local clubs. There's also the ones that are less well known, like the Cavalry and the women's soccer Capitals. They've really been across the board, and not only sport where they're getting their name out there, but they do a lot of stuff behind the scenes with community organisations to provide milk for the homeless and to St Vincent de Paul and that sort of thing. So they're actually a brand that lives up to their mantra of doing things for the community.
And that brings us to the lime green milk. And I love, you were telling me the other day that you were strolling through Canberra Museum and Gallery and heard people going, "Ew, that milk's green," and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, you're not from around here, are you? This is such an iconic product, the Raiders green milk.
It is. I've got memories of the Raiders coming to my primary school in the 90s giving out Raiders lime, and we absolutely loved it. Just the novelty of the green milk. Also, obviously, it was, very sweet and very appealing to kids. But anyone who's grown up here just has a really strong sense of nostalgia and affection for the green milk, and we actually love seeing people from outside our borders sort of look a little wary as we hand them a cup of it.
Because actually there is a fridge with the lime green milk right here in the foyer at Canberra Museum and Gallery, as well as, of course, this character, this actually at close quarters slightly strange character, and I think we're encouraging people to come down, take a photograph, tag themselves in social media and collect some lime green milk as they go. Look, it's a fabulous Canberra story. It's a community story. It's just got it all in terms of the growth of Canberra. That's making news this week on the Riot Act. Lots of other things are too, as part of our great Big Canberra conversation. We're talking about the cold snap. If you haven't turned your heaters on yet, well, you will have this this week, and there is more to come. We've also got the fascinating story of the Braidwood man who decided to challenge his speeding fine and Canberra's speed cameras. He was successful, and if you were fined during a certain period of time, you might be able to challenge that fine as well. You'll have to read more to find out how to do it. There's the famous Red Hill Lookout building, the dodecahedron, the 12-sided building that's now up for sale. We've been having a look at the history of that, and also a bright new future for the Canberra Brave, for the ice hockey team. All that and more on the Riot Act. It's all part of our great Big Canberra conversation. We've got a daily and a weekly newsletter. You can sign up for those and they'll drop into your inbox. And you can be part of telling great Canberra stories. And I guess, Sharon, we say, up the milk.
Yeah, cheers to the Canberra Milk, and come and see the show and grab your free Raiders lime. You won't regret it.
Go on, swig it. Good on you, Sharon. I can't stand milk myself. I'm Genevieve Jacobs and this is Region Media.